That's Aaron Rodgers in the aftermath of the 23-9 win over the Cleveland Browns on Sunday at Acrisure Stadium. Anyone watching that game noticed that the field looked rough. We saw Chris Boswell slip and fall while trying to kick a field goal. Miles Killebrew. Multiple Steelers have suggested that his non-contact knee injury was a result of the borderline unplayable field, as Aaron Rodgers described it. And players weren't happy. We reported yesterday, and I saw others report the same thing, which means, and I don't want to put sources on blast, but there was an agenda by some to get the word out. And it's good because the more in the media that repeat this, that report this, the better. Because people need to know that the players aren't happy. People need to understand why the players aren't happy. The players were outraged by the condition of the field. Players from both teams immediately reached out to the union. This is unacceptable. It calls into question the pregame testing that's done. And we hear about it from time to time when it's cold because there's a hardness limit to the field. Remember there was a game in Carolina a few years ago where it was really cold and there was a concern about the hardness of the field. What are they ever going to do if they decide on a Sunday at 12:30 Eastern, field's unplayable? What are they going to do? I guess you could bump the game to Monday night, but you tell those people go home and come back? What do you do? There aren't many options. Postpone the game, cancel the game, pick it up later if you can maybe put bye weeks together. Remember in the pandemic season, there was some minor and major surgery done to the schedule in order to get all the games in, and they somehow did. There isn't really much you can do if the field's not ready to go. And it's good that the union is aggressively attacking this from a PR perspective, but there may be other ways that the union can push this, and more rigorous pregame testing, more demanding, more willing to fight the league and say our players aren't playing on this field today. Now, Rodgers said it got worse as the game went on. And the problem is Pitt plays there too. That's the fundamental problem. They're sharing a stadium with a major college football program. I don't think they play as many high school games there as they used to. And it's a far cry from that evening in November 2007, Dolphins Steelers, the punt that didn't bounce. Allen Rossum, the Pittsburgh returner's looking down. The ball just chunks into the horrible, soggy, awful turf at Heinz Field. You can see they're putting in new sod. And there isn't a game until next Saturday when Pitt plays. But the next night, the Steelers play. So it's a one-day turnaround. Ben Roethlisberger, former Steelers quarterback, he went there earlier this week. They should get Pitt the hell out. Build a stadium in the Oakland section of Pittsburgh where Pitt's campus is, like it used to be. 25, 35,000. Fill it up. For Pitt games, it really is sad, especially with those bright yellow seats declaring to the world that no one's butt is in them. That's what Ben had to say. You can't have a professional football team, not the Steelers, but the opponents play on a surface like that because you're paying them a lot of money. And if you get people hurt, it's not a good thing. The only thing I can think of, and I've been saying this for a while, I don't think Pitt should play there anymore. And I'm saying this for Pitt's sake as well. Yes, the atmosphere isn't the same. Look what the UFL is doing. They're getting away from the big stadiums where you watch it on TV and you ask yourself, why am I watching this on TV? If people don't feel compelled to go to the game, why do I feel compelled to watch it? Large swaths of empty seats, smaller stadium, fill it up. So that's a longer-term solution, if it's even a viable solution. More immediately, spend the money necessary to ensure that the fields are pristine. In Green Bay, you know why they can do it in Green Bay? You know why? Because there's no owner. All the profits get poured back into the company. There's no one eating at the trough of black ink. There's no one trying to finance a super yacht with the money that's made by the football team. Now, Art Rooney doesn't exactly live lavishly. I think he's one of the owners who doesn't have a retrofitted aircraft carrier. But there's a point where you just got to spend. You got to be willing to spend. Whatever it is that you need, you can get, as evidenced by the super yacht. You want super grass? You can get super grass. Green Bay wanted it. It's Wisconsin, people. They have a pristine field all year long in Wisconsin. If they can do it there, they can do it anywhere. One last point. Two last points. One, I made this point yesterday. How does Acrisure feel about this? Is this what they paid for? And I think that's a practical reality. These teams are getting millions from companies to put their name on a stadium. You want your name to be associated with good things coming out of that stadium, not that the field there is, Jim, caca. You don't want that. FedEx Field, they didn't want to be associated with a busted pipe and sewage raining down on the customer. Like, this isn't a good brand development. Secondly, here's the reality, because we talked about this yesterday on 93.7 The Fan in Pittsburgh. I do a spot there with Pony and Muller every Wednesday afternoon. This is ultimately a matter of collective bargaining. The union can huff and puff all it wants, and it can do the PR stuff, and maybe there's some stuff that it can do where it says, we're just not playing today. You deal with the aftermath, NFL. But to get all grass fields, more accurately, high-quality grass fields in every stadium, you're going to have to go to the bargaining table with the league. And they're going to want something to change the status quo. That's how bargaining works. Sometimes that helps the union. Sometimes it hurts the union, because the league isn't going to do jack diddly squat without some sort of equivalent concession from the players. And hey, people are sending in ideas. Well, how about that in exchange for 18 games? You probably want more than that in exchange for 18 games. But that's the kind of thing that goes into the bucket. But whenever you play the all high quality grass fields card, you're giving up something else. So the players have to ask themselves, how badly do they want it? And what else are they willing to do without to get it? And how much is it going to take to get the league to do for their players what they gladly did? Some of the owners with turf fields. When FIFA said, you want World Cup games? Here's what you have to do. Check, 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 check. Whatever it takes, whatever it takes, whatever it takes. For their players, for their NFL teams, they're not required to do it, so they're not. Folks, it's a business. I remember when my dad was trying to tell me when I was a kid that wrestling is fake, it pissed me off. When I got older and people started saying football is a business, it pissed me off, because I was a football fan. I wasn't a business fan. I didn't care how much money the owners were making. I wanted to watch the games and enjoy the games, and part of me still does, but I recognize it's a business. It's a business. They want you to think it's not. It is. Bottom line, dollars in, dollars out. And they're not going to spend a penny more than they have to. We've seen this time and again. Remember the thing, it's been 13 years ago. The replacement refs. Oh, the replacement refs will be every bit as competent as the regular refs. Well, baloney. But they don't care, because they see that as a line item on the budget that they don't need to increase. That's what this is all about. Where do we have to spend more money? Where do we not have to spend more money? We don't have to spend more money on fields, because the CBA doesn't compel us to do that. That's why. That's what it's all about. So at the end of the day, and I encourage the players to huff and puff, and I encourage the union to look for legal ways to blow the NFL's house down and cancel a game if the field truly is unplayable. But if this is ever going to be what the players want it to be, it's a matter of collective bargaining. They got to ask themselves, how much are we willing to give up to get high-quality grass fields in every stadium? All right, let's take a break. Omar Kelly, the Miami Herald, next to talk more about the Dolphins, how they've gotten to where they are, the aftermath of Sunday's remarks, and where it goes from here. That's next on this Thursday edition of PFT Live. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.